It's official. Dodge just leaked their own leak, basically. They just leaked the Charger Hurricane twin turbo V6. Yes, it looks like the Banshee, the electric version, but this is the gas version. And I'm gonna tell you how I know. Let's jump into it. Let's go. Steph, how do you know what this is? How do you know? Well, let me tell you, man. I have on authority people who actually work at that plant that I was able to reach out to and find out that yes, this is the gas version of the new Charger. So it's not only going to be electric, but it's gas and electric. We've seen a little hint of that when we saw the trans tunnel of the frame, right? When we saw that trans tunnel, we knew that's not for electric. That's for, with the firewall, that's the ability to be able to have some sort of a transmission or drive shaft travel to the rear. So what that also tells us is this is a rear-wheel drive based vehicle, just like the old ones. Now, how do I know that also that this is a gas-powered car? In addition to that, on the left side, you see what looks to be a slight cutout for an exhaust tip. I don't know if the exhaust tip is on or not. The picture is purposely dark, so you can't pick up all of the details. Now, it's crazy that Dodge actually was the one to leak these photos. Maybe they were about to get leaked anyway, so they decided that we are going to take the media credit for it, or we're going to get all the news for it. So great job, Dodge, in that sense. However, what you'll also notice is it still has the cutout in the front bumper for the scoop, but air is just gonna go in there, probably go over the hood, and that's for aerodynamics they're gonna use that for. So how is the engine going to get cooled, right? Where are the radiators and fans going to be? Well, if you notice, there are two cutouts on the front, on the side, on either side, and then there's an air dam in the middle. What I expect is I am the owner of a C5 Corvette, and that car has nothing in the front. The air dams in the front are closed off, but it's an engine, it's a gas engine car. It needs to be cool. So what they do is they run an air dam on the bottom of the car, and then they direct air from underneath the car. The air goes up, it hits a dam, and then it's directed up into the engine bay. That's why they call C5 Corvette bottom feeders. If you look with the redesign of the C6 Corvette, it has an open air dam right in the middle at the bottom, and that's where it pulls air in. And obviously that's enough to keep the car cool. So therefore, that will be enough to cool this small 3-liter, 6-cylinder, turbocharged engine. What's really exciting about this is the fact of we thought Dodge was completely losing their way. We didn't know when there was going to be a production Hurricane engine vehicle or car in the lineup. Well, also right in their caption, they said available or coming late 2024. So what that means is they're going to start taking orders for those cars probably this summer. And I got another bombshell for you guys. I am of a very strong belief that for the first time we are going to get a high-powered output engine available with all-wheel drive. Now, Stefan, how do you know that? How do you know that one, Stefan? Come on. I mean, one thing is you got to be able to get with the times and keep up with the times. But let's talk about the practicality and how it's possible. This car we all know is going to share a platform, electric and gas is going to be the same body, same frame, right? And they're just going to basically work it to bolt up either an electric drivetrain or a gas-powered drivetrain. But what we also know is with the Banshee option, you're going to have 3 electric motors, which is 2 in the back, 1 in the front. Now, what that means is it has to be able to hold a motor in the front, axles in the front that go to the front wheels, and work with the steering geometry and the steering system. So that means that automatically this can hold all of the necessary components for a gas-powered all-wheel drive system. And what do I think they're going to use? Well, they've already announced that the Hurricane engines are going to be coupled with the 8-speed automatic that comes in all of the cars, right? There are different versions of it, But let's look at an SXT all-wheel drive or a GT all-wheel drive, which is this current 6-cylinder all-wheel drive. Right now, that comes with the 8 HP 45, which is a ZF transmission, torque flight, whatever you want to call it. And what that means is it has a back that can accept a transfer case. And that transfer case then has a prop shaft attached to it that now moves the power from that transfer case to a front differential. That front differential then distributes the power to both front wheels. And then at the other side of the transfer case, the back side of it, it goes to a rear drive shaft that powers the rear wheel drive. That's how an all-wheel drive system works. Cool? Got that part? So since they're going to use the same transmission, then that tells me they're probably going to use the same all-wheel drive system in the new Charger. So for the first time ever, we're going to have a high-powered, at least 510 horsepower with the Hurricane Category 3 motor, at least 510 horsepower with all-wheel drive. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is going to put Scat Packs to shame. To shame. Sadly, it's also going to put Hellcats to shame. So the only concern is the sound, right? We've all heard this. That is the 6-cylinder TRX version. Now, here's where I think things are going to be a little bit different, though, with the cars. I believe the cars are going to rev higher. At least I hope that they will rev higher. And if they don't, then we'll be able to tune them to rev higher. We'll change a cam. We'll change the cams, because this is going to have multiple cams in it. Unlike a single cam that's in all the 8-cylinder Hemis, it's going to have multiple cams. We'll be able to change the cams. We'll be able to then change the profile in the way where it makes power and move it up in the RPM range. Now, let me tell you something. When you have an inline 6-cylinder motor, and I mean all of them, there is no bad sounding inline 6-cylinder engine that revs high with a turbo. No such thing as a bad one. Typically, they sound like this, or they sound like this, and sometimes they sound like this. Either way, you can't go wrong. So I'm super excited because if it comes with 510 horsepower, that means it's probably going to make about 450 wheel. And then with basic tune downpipes, the Category 3 also comes with fairly larger size turbo. 55 mil turbos are not small for factory. So those turbos are probably going to be capable of about 800 wheel horsepower before changing the turbos. And that's my estimate out of these cars. Get excited because you're going to have turbo now, so easy to tune, make it fast, easy, make a lot of power easily. Then in addition to that, you're going to have all-wheel drive, so get excited about that. And lastly, man, it's just going to open up the floodgates for the aftermarket tuning scene to really take advantage of the newer technologies that a lot of these cars have. When you look at the Supra and you have Boot Mod or you have MHD, things that you can do on your phone that we currently don't have with the Mopar platform is going to be introduced in these cars. But once that PCM is unlocked, dude, the sky is going to be the limit and those cars are going to be very fast. And guess who's going to be on the list to be one of the first to get one? You guessed it. Your boy right here. And me, I hope that usually what happens is they release the lower model one first and then they move up to the higher output one, so a year later. So my estimate is it's going to be like a standard RT one first, which is going to be the 400 horsepower version, and then they're going to come out with the Category 3 one, which is the upgraded Hurricane engine, which is going to be the 510 or 550 horsepower one, and that's probably going to come out a year later. Both of them are going to be available in either rear or all-wheel drive, and It's just going to be a lot of fun, man. I can tell you one thing, it's not going to be a stick. I already know that part. That's done. This is big news, and I hope you guys are excited. Coming straight from the horse's mouth, you heard it. Mod Defame be knowing what Mod Defame be knowing. When the GT500 was dropping, I told you what performance numbers it would do. I was on the number. When they talked about the red eye coming, I talked about what it would do. I was on the number. When they talked about that there would be a Hurricane engine, an inline 6-cylinder, and it's going to not only be in those SUVs like the Wagoneer, but it's coming to the cars. Once again, Mod Defame was all over it. So I understand there's a lot of channels that speculate and talk about this stuff, but they don't know performance. They're not performance channels. They read articles and they put it out. Shout to them. You know, this is what they do. I am not a news channel. I'm not an information leak channel. I'm a performance channel. Mod to fame, modifying your car to the point where everybody knows it. So that's what's different about me, and I'm going to give you the performance aspect of it. So when I'm excited about this news drop, and it's not just to be the first to drop the news, but to tell you the performance implications and what's going to come along with it and why I'm excited. Anyway, it's your boy Stephen here from Mod Defame, and if you like this video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification so you don't miss no more videos going forward. But until the next one, we out.